Hello Clash fans, Trample Damage coming at you today from the comfort of my car, because sometimes I just like to record a video from somewhere. We are bringing you Town Hall 14 Super Bowler attacks from Tip Dog 20, one of my clanmates here. He's visiting at the moment. We are hoping he will stay. Demonstrating some really awesome Super Bowler attacks in Legend League. There's 3 that we're going to show you. The first 2 are going to be traditional variations on it. The third one I want to show because I actually learned something very cool about Super Bowlers, and I saw the attack start out with the Warden going to lose his ability a bit early, and I thought maybe it wasn't going to be a triple, but I actually got to watch that one live and then said, please wind up sharing that with us. So before we jump in, of course, if you like the video, comment down below, check me out on TikTok, check out the Clash of Clans subreddit on Reddit. There is a wonderful mod team there with a lot of cool content. And also, Tip Dog is the host of the Clash Tips podcast, and he was kind enough to have me on there a couple times, so make sure to check out his podcast especially you'll want to do that after seeing these super cool attacks that we are going to bring you. Now, the traditional Super Bowler attack is going to come with, in this one, I'll just tell you where it's happening. There will be a Warden walk over here to clear these defenses out of the way, and also some of these perimeter buildings. And then off to the side over here, we're going to be placing a Flame Flinger to take out these buildings, along with a couple of other troops to help take some of these perimeter buildings, which will set up a beautiful funnel with some super wall breakers popping this open, and then all the troops pushing in toward the core, and the somewhat unnecessary jump spell coming down here later, a bunch of rages to keep those Super Bowlers alive and well through the core. So we're going to start with, and mind you, these are legend attacks, so the army that we have is 5 Super Bowlers with 5 balloons, 2 super wall breakers. We've got 3 rage, a jump, a freeze, an invisibility, a skeleton spell, plus a poison in the clan castle, along with an extra rage spell. So this started a little bit slower than I thought, because right now Tip is actively thinking about what to do. I thought he started the Warden first. The Flame Flinger takes a while, so it's probably not a bad idea to start with the Flame Flinger. And what you'll see here is 2 balloons, and I'm going to play this a Barbarian. There's the Barbarian coming out. The balloons are to check for Teslas that could be in this space between this outer wall and these buildings here, because a Tesla can pop up and wreck your Flame Flinger in no time. I actually recommend looking up some tips on how to approach deploying a Flame Flinger, just to make sure that you don't get caught. The Barbarian is to help test for skeleton traps, and that's actually the purpose of the Wizard, the 2 Barbarians and 2 Archers that come into the army, and we're actually going to look at that a little bit more detailed in the third attack. So we got 2 balloons testing for Teslas. No Teslas are forthcoming. No skeleton trap came. Flame Flinger comes onto the battlefield, and it is going to start wrecking all these defenses, and we'll eventually put an archer over here to take out this army camp, and super exciting. In the meantime, we'll check out the Grand Warden doing his Warden walk. Now, unfortunately, the Electro Owl, who's normally paired with the Grand Warden, dies to these corner air defenses, but it is simply the first catastrophe, the first casualty of the war. So you can see the archer in there on that army camp. We now have waiting, where ideally the Grand Warden is able to clear out this entire compartment. That way, when the Super Bowlers do come onto the battlefield, they will just run straight into the core. This is ideally how it's set up. So Flame Flinger still working on those defenses. It will eventually take these down. One tip while we're doing this, keep an eye on mortars for your Flame Flinger, because mortars and expos are the only things that can shoot a Flame Flinger while it is shooting that, generally speaking. So now we've got all of this compartment cleared out with the Warden. We've got all of this compartment nearly cleared out with the Flame Flinger, and the healers are doing their best to keep the Warden at positive hit points. Now we went ahead and brought in the Barbarian King to start taking down some of those perimeter buildings, and we are going to just force all of the remaining troops in toward the core. Now, a couple of super wall breakers do come down here along with the other 3 balloons to test for traps to keep the healers alive as long as possible, and now we are off to the races. There is a little bit of penetration here in this compartment because of the Flame Flinger having blown open that wall, so the Super Bowlers are actually going to have some ingress toward that center compartment there, where we don't need to use the jump spell, and we wouldn't need to use the super wall breaker, which did not make it all the way to that wall. So you see the clan castle troops go down. We've got a poison spell on there, and I want to point this out. There's 55 seconds left in this replay. There's a lot of base still to come down, and we're going to wind up taking out the rest of this base in those 55 seconds. I will note that the Royal Champion is usually saved with this attack and does not come in alongside the other heroes, because she will be coming in to pick up back-end stuff like we have over here. Another thing about the Super Bowlers and the King and Queen, you want to make sure that you deploy at least one of them inside the range. Oh, perfect. I didn't even see this the first time. The Flame Flinger got caught by a hidden Tesla that popped up, and you can see it torched that flame flinger, and we now have a pair of Yetis and a Valkyrie over there trying to clean up some of the perimeter on that side. Here comes the Royal Champ along with Lassie, but when you deploy your heroes, you want to make sure that your Queen or Super Bowlers or King get in range of the Warden's Eternal Tome. Otherwise, if you do it poorly, he might stand out there attacking stuff all by himself and leave you out to dry. Now, those Super Bowlers did a very good job of skirting the perimeter of that poison bomb from the town hall as they continue to plow through some of these defenses. The rage spell keeps the healers on them in overdrive, and they just are tearing through here. From what I've been seeing in some of these attacks from Tip, the rage on the healers is almost as important as it is during a queen walk, because keeping those Super Bowlers alive once the healers transfer to them is a very important part of this attack. And you can see everything has been gutted, just a little bit of cleanup on the perimeter. No queen ability used, no royal champion ability used. Absolutely splendid. I love this attack. I need to start practicing with this army myself because I am thoroughly impressed at what it does. We'll get a little bit into the details on how we use, let's start this one, how we use the skeleton spell and the invisibility spell. Oftentimes the skeleton spell is used for some bases which we don't have one that we're going to show you today, where the flame flinger is used to take out the town hall. Oftentimes the skeleton spell will be able to trigger the town hall, but for a base layout like this, where you might actually not be able to activate the town hall for the flame flinger to destroy it because of the bomb towers, they might kill the skeletons before they actually get to deal damage to the town hall. The invisibility spell can give them coverage to activate the town hall. In the absence of needing to use the skeleton spell or the invisibility spells to help activate the town hall, skeleton spells are great for distracting heroes, which we'll see the skeleton spell here deployed to distract the enemy barbarian king, and the invisibility spell great for protecting sometimes a queen, sometimes a warden, sometimes a royal champion, sometimes all of your Super Bowlers. So we'll let that go by a little bit. What we're going to see here is there's some natural funneling that is already going to occur on this side of the base, where there are no buildings over here to pull troops down. So instead of the warden being deployed, and this is, I wanted to get a couple different styles of attack so you're not just seeing the exact same thing deployed against the exact same layouts over and over again. Here we actually have, once we get a little bit of ground covered where the warden is going to be in range of that warden, we go ahead and actually deploy the flame flinger. I say we like I was helping this. This is Tip's attack. Obviously this was what Tip was doing, but the warden starts taking fire from the mortar, and then the flame flinger comes in behind to start targeting the mortar. You can see we deployed 2 super wall breakers here to punch open that compartment, and now what we know is, because of how much the flame flinger and the warden have carved out on this side here, there's really nowhere that your barbarian king, your archer queen, and Super Bowlers will want to go except directly into this compartment. Now of course those builders are hard at work trying to get things going. We've got the queen coming in, we've got the ice golem, we've got the king, and you can see that was a perfect placement. The archer queen put here pulls the grand warden over, so he's going to come in with the rest of the army and eventually transfer those healers to the Super Bowlers. Super Bowlers coming behind, the balloons come in behind. Balloons serving 2 purposes. Obviously, they'll take out some defenses, but also testing for air traps to help keep the healers alive as long as possible. Now, we use our 1 jump spell to get them in range of the town hall. You'll notice he did not breach the compartment with the town hall. We do not want the Super Bowlers hanging out in that poison bomb any longer than they absolutely have to. The placement of this jump spell allows the Super Bowlers to follow the natural pathing that is designed by these walls to exploit that in being able to reach the town hall, because if you don't know, the Super Bowlers are able to hit buildings that are up to 2 tiles away, or 3 tiles away rather. They can shoot over a gap of 2 tiles between them. So the Super Bowlers go in here, they absolutely nuke that town hall. Again, we got healers in there under rage, keeping the Super Bowlers nice and healthy. Town hall goes down, everybody's plowing away. We do have the Archer Queen, thanks to the Flame Flinger, being able to make her way up into this central compartment here, and we're just going to kind of speed through some of this. We still have... Oop, I paused it. We still have our skeleton... Oop, there we go. Invisibility spell coming on the Archer Queen to give her coverage to take out this multi-target Inferno Tower and the Eagle Artillery. And then the Skeleton spell... I made a liar of myself. I thought the Skeleton spell was deployed up here. Oh, there's the enemy king. The Skeleton spell does indeed get deployed here. There it is. Skeleton spell coming down to distract not only these defenses, not only the Royal Champion, but also the enemy Barbarian King as they start chasing those skeletons. And again, defense is all down. Base has been gutted. Royal Champion actually finishing off the last few hidden Teslas, and then we just a little bit of cleanup. You can absolutely run into time fails if you get unlucky, but as long as you are really pushing the brunt of your army, and by the time there's, say, at least 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock, you're probably going to be okay. final one that we want to share, which is going to showcase, this is the one that I saw live, and I was really impressed with this for two reasons. Well, actually three. One was a surprise to me, but I was impressed in the beginning of the attack because, we start down here. I want to remind myself, I should have watched it again. There it is, down here. Okay, we have two barbarians coming in. So this is exactly why we send the barbarians in. If there was a Tesla in between this gold mine and this barracks, we would have triggered the Tesla and then been able to drop the flame flinger further back, or we trigger some skeletons. And what we attempted to do here was kill the skeletons with the barbarians. That didn't work. We drew them with an archer. Archer comes down, and I think this was such a baller move where we put the the wizard in, and I would have personally waited to make sure that the skeletons went down to that wizard and possibly even put in another troop there just to make sure the flame flinger goes. But Tip says, nope, I have so much faith in that wizard, I'm just going to go ahead and drop the flame flinger. And of course, the wizard delivers, blows up all those skeletons, and then proceeds to help out. We'll go ahead and go back into regular speed here. And this is the part that I was worried about. I was literally talking to my iPad while I was watching this attack going, oh no, Tip, look out. That's my voice for what I'm saying. Oh no, Tip, look out. Your warden's going to die to the queen. But of course, he's not going to die. But after the queen guns down the poor Electro Owl, she does start duking it out with the warden, and he can't finish her off prior to having to use his ability. In this moment, I thought, well, there goes the 3-star, because without being able to trigger the warden's ability in the middle of the base when everybody's under so much fire, I did not think that this attack was going to wind up panning out. However, it ended up being a triple, and it was super cool to watch it live. So queen, bowlers, everybody coming over here. We wind up getting the warden's attention. He's interested in seeing what the rest of the troops are doing. The Barbarian King does come around this back into the core, or into this compartment, to fight the enemy Barbarian King. And we have Ice Golem dying, slowing things down, which is why it's really great to send an Ice Golem in front of the Super Bowlers. It buys them time in terms of damage being soaked up by the Ice Golem, and it also, of course, freezes the defense to give the Super Bowlers more time. I actually thought the Tip was going to use his jump spell right here, and this is something that I thought was really cool about this, which just shows how practice and intuition will tell you when it's the right time to make a decision. And afterwards, when I was replaying it, I did realize, actually that was a great decision. We've got Poison Spell down on the Super Minions, so this compartment was essentially emptied out, and we were just letting the Super Bowlers work on blasting through this wall, and then the jump spell was placed to allow the Super Bowlers access to what would have been the Town Hall compartment, just to force the pathing. Because once they broke through this wall, if we had had the jump spell here, it would have given them access to this compartment with the Dark Elixir Drill, this compartment here, but not have been able to reach the Town Hall, but would have potentially put all those Super Bowlers in range of the Town Hall if a ball that they threw at one of these buildings hit the Town Hall. That could have been very problematic. But by allowing them to break through this wall and then using the jump here, we actually gave the Super Bowlers access to the Town Hall compartment. Now, I will say, I thought they were going to die, and this is the thing that I think is really cool that I learned about this. I was expecting that Town Hall poison to kill the Super Bowlers, because it's very powerful. It deals a lot of damage. Invisibility spells sort of ended up being kind of worthless there, but because those healers are raged, they are able to provide enough regeneration to those Super Bowlers. They literally stand there inside almost the entire duration of that Town Hall poison bomb, and they were very low on hit points coming out of there. And only I think one of them, I thought one died. Well, this Archer Tower that's gunning it down. But they actually managed to stay alive through that poison bomb. I was thoroughly impressed when I saw that. Of course, we still have King ability, Queen ability, and Champ ability. Plus, we essentially swagged the Warden ability in the beginning. We didn't swag it. We used it to protect him from the Queen, but didn't really use it the way we would normally use it to protect the main part of the army, which is the Super Bowlers coming into the base. That's it, what we have for these attacks here. If you are interested in seeing more content from Tip, he does have a YouTube channel. Go ahead and check him out. New creator. Been doing a podcast for a long time. Really cool podcast. He's had a lot of cool people on there, like Trample Damage. Feel free to check that out as well. In the meantime, share this with your clanmates. Tell everybody to check out my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers so I can reach the Tier 1 creator status at some point with Supercell. In the meantime, I bless you all with a wonderful day and happy clashing, and we will catch you guys on the next video.